Welcome to the channel and this new irregular series for Divide Et Impera 1.2.2, and my Egyptian campaign is recently finished, and I think we all get to this dilemma when a campaign finishes and we say, well, what are we going to play next? And I sat there and I actually did a list, and I came up with about 12 factions that I really wanted to play, and I thought, well, this is ridiculous because this is about 4 years of gameplay to play all of them to full-length campaigns as let's plays on the channel. Bearing in mind my Egyptian campaign took about 6 months, and then I kind of looked back at some comments and a few things came to mind where people had requested me to play factions. So what I actually did is I came up with a list of 6, and I've already done an introductory video on why I'm playing those 6 and the detail if you want to watch that. So this is going to be very much a top level overview, and I've deliberately chosen factions that either have an interesting starting position or they have a different game style from the Egyptians and the Romans, just to mix things up a little bit. Also, I've also chosen some that will allow me to explore the barbarian and the nomadic tribes supply systems and see how that works, and of course we have different building chains which could be quite fun. And so what are the 6 factions that I'm actually going to do? Well, I'm going to start with the one that's actually up on the screen now. It's Parthia on very hard, and then there's the Bosporan Kingdom, Royal Scythia because obviously we want to do a nomadic tribe, Macedon because somebody asked me whether we could have some real pike on pike action, and the Getae because they've got the new roster that was introduced as part of the 1.2.2 release, and at the end, just for pure fun, if I haven't died of frustration for trying to get through the other 5, is Baktria. Now, the rule with these 6 factions, with one exception, is that I will start them. I've kind of listed them in what I see as order of difficulty, and if I crash and burn in a faction, then I will move on to the next one. So some of these might be quite short, so they're not going to be me plodding away to get victory. They could go, and in the case of Parthia on very hard, it could be very short, and that's going to be the one exception. Let's give you some background to it. Now, the reason why I'm going to be doing Parthia on very hard is due to a comment from Dan Addy back in August. I'm recording this in October 2017 if you're watching this in the future. And he posed this question: is it possible to survive and build a strong foothold as Parthia on very hard? And I kind of thought about it, and I did some test play, and I realized how hard it was, and then he gave me some very, very useful tips about how to get started, and I've made some progress. I won't say how much progress, but it wasn't that much, and it got a bit frustrated. And I finally thought, well, it's time for me to put it on the channel and for you guys to kind of tear your hair out and laugh at what I'm up to and maybe give me some suggestions. So that is why Parthia is the number 1. But the exception is going to be is that because it is such a hard start and there are a number of random factors that come in that influence the gameplay, if I die in the first 20-30 turns, I will restart. I want to give this a reasonable shot to make progress, because there are a number of different strategies that can work. I mean, not many, but there are, and I think that's enough before I ramble on too long, and let's kind of get into the proper start for this faction now. And of course, Parthia is a member of the group called the Eastern Empires, and you can see they are based on the remnants of the Babylonian, Assyrian and Median empires that the Archimedes built in the first true superstate touching 3 continents. So they're kind of left over from a great empire, and of course they're now in this starting position where they're up against the Seleucids satrapies, not actually against the Seleucid Empire. They've actually got their satrapies around it. They've got kind of friends to the north, but who can turn very hostile very quickly. And as an Eastern Empire, they get this trait of great marksmanship plus 25% ammunition for all units. That could be quite useful for taking down enemy armies, especially in the early game if they have got low armor. Now, the Persian trade heritage plus 10% wealth from all commerce buildings, not so good at the start because obviously it's going to be very difficult for setting up trade routes. We've got no port, but I think that will kick in later on if I can actually build a foothold that can be grow and develop. And of course Parthia itself, with the start year, is going to be 278 BC, which is the normal start for Divide et Impera. Recommended difficulty normal, but of course we're going to be playing very hard. Although I will say that I am going to set the battle difficulty to normal, because that's the way I like to play. I like the balance of normal battles. I've tried playing it on hard, and I just think it's a bit silly. And also the other problem from the point of view of recording from YouTube is that the battles are already quite long and slow, and if I play on hard or very hard, especially in a pike on pike confrontation where you're trying to grind through infantry, it's just too slow for recording. And I could edit out half the video while troops grind against each other, and that's the reason why I stick on normal. Now the traits that come with Parthia, they've got Zoroastrian slavery aversion, so they got plus 25% servile unrest, which means that if you start taking slaves, you start to get unrest, as far as I can gather from that. Multiculturalism, minus 25% public order penalties due to the presence of foreign cultures. That's going to be quite useful when we do manage to expand. And of course we're cavalry masters, plus 1 experience rank for cavalry recruits. Now that could come in useful later on, once I can actually got the cash to support a cavalry armies, but that's going to be in the future. Now we're going to have a quick look at the victory conditions. You can see it's the usual control 80 settlements for military, so it's actually slightly less than the Egyptians. I think the Egyptians was 85, and we've got to control the following 6 provinces. So it's Parthia, Mesopotamia, Scythia, Syria and Bosphorus. Now those are quite easy. The difficult one's going to be Italia, because we're going to have to kind of push out through Asia across the Greek peninsula to get to Italy and fight the Romans. So I imagine, if you can visualize the map of Europe, if you're new to the game, apologies for this, the empire is going to have to go north and then along the top of the map in a block, and maybe push down into Egypt and slowly push towards Italy that way, and we'll probably leave Carthage alone. And of course the next thing is we've got to maintain 180 units in there and 60 mercenary units. That's interesting. Obviously navies aren't quite so important in Parthia, but then again I think we're going to need mercenary units to bolster our infantry front lines, so I think that could be quite useful. And I think that's it, guys. Now it's time to get in on the campaign.
The time has come to establish a new and great empire in the east. War with Parthia is inevitable if you're to consolidate your position. However, patience is advised. They have no love for their Seleucid masters, and allowing them to rebel first will ensure that they receive no military support from their overlords when you strike. Taming the northern tribes may buy you the time you need. Alliances with other satrapies are a possibility, although you should be wary of limiting your expansion options. The decision is yours. All hail the new Parthian Empire.
All hail the new Parthian Empire, and welcome to the campaign map. Now I let that video run because it's got 2 kind of key points in it that is relevant to getting started on this campaign, and that is that war with Parthia is inevitable, as we need to consolidate the whole province in order to form a power base, and patience is advised. This campaign will get off to a very slow start, so we're going to do that. And of course we've now got the standard objective issued: control 8 settlements by either direct ownership or through satrapies and military allies. So we've now managed to get this, and you can see here that Parthia starts with a single minor region, and it's part of the Parthia, which is here. So the rest of it is actually occupied by Parthia here, and they are going to be our target. But at the same time, we've got Aria on this side. They're also a satrapy. These are a satrapy. There's the satrapy. We've also got the Kisermi north, which it actually says that we're of the same blood, and they do like us. But as you can see here, when we start, we've got this broken treaties and military actions against them, which we've never done because this is turn 1. Now, one of the elements of this game is the fact that diplomacy is random, and how those random factors align will decide on the initial success in the campaign. And to kind of give you an idea is that And some of the test plays, because I have done several test plays on this, I've had turn 1 where the Kasami, Baktria and these guys over here, I can't remember what they're called now, all declare war on turn 1, and I just didn't have a hope because these guys and Parthia literally did a beeline, come over here and all dogpiled in on me turn 5 and I was dead. Now the success of this campaign depends on whether you can hold back those initial wars to a point where you're strong enough to be able to fend them off, and that is the big factor. And to kind of do that, what I'm going to do is offer these guys a little bit of cash.
I will do you the
Not a vast amount, because there's no point wasting too much on them. In fact, if I should kind of show you, at the moment they're minus 22 neutral. If I can get that up into the positive, and I think the amount I need to offer them is about 2,000, maybe 4,000. And if we go back now, you will see that they're 3 neutral. It's not brilliant, but we will try and keep fending them money over the time. Now Baktria I'm not going to bother about, and the other one I want to try and do is get a trade deal with Aria. 1, it will give me a little bit of cash, and 2, that will stop them declaring war on me.
Greetings, most excellent friend. Be at home and speak as you would before your own hearth fires.
No. Yep, accepted for 4,800. Now that gets me, I wouldn't say an ideal diplomatic situation, but it means I've got a potential friend there, and generally the AI does not declare war on you if you've got a trade agreement. I have tried buying a trade agreement with these guys, but it's just a waste of time. So we've now got a start, and what we got, and some of the tactics I'm going to talk about now, I'm going to give full credit to Dan Addy. It's his suggestions, and one of his first suggestions is that what I need to do is get my spy coming out this way to make contact with the Sucalids so I can see who they go at war at. Also with the Egyptians, because the strategy, let's talk strategy. The strategy is going to be very much, we want to secure this border. I don't intend to push out this way, and then what I want to do is build up an army here, take out as that Susia, and then take out Parthia. And to do that, we're going to have to go to war with Parthia, but at the same time not fight the Sucalids. And the way to do that is by finding out who the Sucalids are at war with, and then joining the war against the Parthia but not the Sucalids. So that's the thinking of the process. But as I say, the real success depends on the diplomatic effects that happen. And of course we've got this tiny little army here, and we can't recruit much. I mean, the recruitment here, the cavalry is very expensive, and with our income we just can't build up, so we're gonna have to use cheap units. I'm gonna get a couple of cheap units. I am gonna get rid of this guy. Actually he's quite a bit cheaper than, and I think we'll get rid of him. I'm gonna keep the horse archers and the Meridian archers for the moment, because one thing I found is by dumping all my units completely, these guys declared war on the first turn, and then that becomes a pain in the neck. And the other thing I'm also going to do, again this is a suggestion from Dan Addy, is that you can't sustain a cavalry army, so what I'm going to do is lock that down, but at the same time I'm going to take that up. 1, because that will improve my garrison, and also it might actually get me a little bit of trade. I don't think I'm going to make that much from a trade perspective. 112 a turn. It's going to take a long time to pay back the amount of money that I actually did, but I will be burning through quite a few turns during this initial phase. So what I probably will do is just edit the video, guys, and show you the highlights, because obviously what I've got to do now is build up a infantry barracks here and get through some research. So what we're going to do immediately is research infantry tents, because we're going to need to build up a small infantry army, get a little bit better quality troops. And I think that's about all I can do for turn 1. Let's just have a quick look at our general. Let's see what he's got here. Wow, that's not too bad. Minus 10% city centre building costs and plus 2% public order. Yeah, I think I'm going to keep him because he's that's a little bit of a bonus. I mean, you could change the general. I mean, there are options, but I think that random trait is actually going to be quite useful. Now, I'm not going to be too worried about the public order. I'm not going to be paranoid about it. If it falls, it falls, because there's not much I can actually do about it. And let's just go for the end turn now, guys. This is the crunch one. Who's going to declare war on me? And this could be a very, very short campaign if like the Kasami declare war and various other people declare war on me at the beginning. Wow, we actually got away with turn one. Wow. And we've got a small amount of troops here. We've got a little bit of cash over the game. And what I'm going to do is just keep my agent moving this way. And as I say, what I will do now is burn through the turns. I'm going to recruit. I think what I do is recruit a pair. What I want to do is get up to about an army of 10 units. And once I get up to that, I will get rid of these. Actually, I think what we can do is get rid of these guys. He was the equivalent of 2 units. So what I'm going to do now, guys, is I'm going to start burning through the turns. If anything happens, I will come back in the video. Okay, guys, we're about 4 turns in at the moment, and something's quite useful has happened. The Raku and Kasami have gone to war, which is quite useful from my point of view, in the sense that these guys have now got a distraction, so that decreases the chance of them actually declaring war on me. And we're still 1 more turn and we will finish the research. My spy is still quite happily marching across the desert here. As I say, it's compared to other previous test starts I've had, this has been quite a quiet start actually so far, guys. So I'm quite happy with that. I'm just going to check to see what these guys actually think of me. Yeah, they're actually improving. I mean, I could declare war on the Saka, but that might be a last resort. I don't really want to get into war because these guys aren't particularly strong, and I don't want them coming down from the north, because my main target has to be Susia. So we're going to go for an end turn, guys. And we have completed the research logistics. And that means what I can do now. And once the barracks has been built here, we will be able to upgrade it. And the next step is going to be, what I want to do is actually unlock this here, because I want to get dignitaries, but what I'm going to have to do first is unlock this. But that's going to give me a bit of wealth if I had a farm. But what I am going to do is actually recruit a veteran. Actually, I think what I'm going to wait is, I think if I wait 1 turn, I may actually get the benefit of a mission. Sometimes you get a mission to recruit a veteran, and then that gives you a little bit of a perk. So I think I'm going to wait for that. So we're going to go 1 more turn, guys. Nope, no mission. Okay, we're just going to recruit the agent, see what we can get. Got harass enemy, raid, income from raiding, upkeep -2, that could be useful, upkeep -2, military training, I think that's what I'm after. Now, if the Kasami had declared on war against me, I would now have moved this guy up to keep an eye on them and to see if they're going to come sneak an army down, because obviously my army down here is quite weak. But what I'm going to do is drop him into the army to do some training, to give these guys a little bit of experience. And of course you can see here, because the cavalry's gone now, all we can recruit is these 2 guys. It's until we actually manage to get this finished. Here we go, guys. Let's check my agent, make sure he's moved. Nope, he's still coming this way. And of course we've made contact with the Suclids. Now I don't think the Suclids actually like us that much. I mean, -3. Now I have done some test play where the Suclids actually declared war on me, and then that was a no hope, because obviously Parthia and Aria automatically come in and attack you as well. But at the moment the Suclids are actually at war with Media Atropine, and that's quite useful, because we we could actually use the immediate atrophy to join the war, and then they would actually make friends with them. So I think what I will do is let my spy curve down into Egypt, down towards the Quadri, I think. And so I don't actually need to go into Asia. But I do want to make contact with the Egyptians. I don't think I've actually made contact with the Egyptians yet, have I? No. So maybe I'll bring my spy down this way and see if they see about the Quadri and come back this way through the south of Persia. And I think that's all we can do this turn. I've still got 3 turns there. I've got 1 turn left on this, so we're just going to go for an end turn. And here we are. We've now built our tents. Of course, we're immediately going to go for the infantry tents so that we can get some better troops. This guy can just drop in and do some military training. Our spy can come down this way and see if we can make contact with the Egyptians. I mean, that's Egypt, so we may have actually... We've now made contact with the Egyptians, who are actually at war with Macedon, unusual, and Nabatea. That goes without saying. Just to see how much these guys is falling a little bit, but we're still kind of semi-friends with them. I think what I might do is, if they're at war, I think I will just, I mean, I've got a little bit of cash, so I think I mean, they probably won't have...
Welcome, friend.
No.
Let us conclude our business.
I think what we will do is we'll just...
and then enjoy the pleasures of this house.
Give them a little bit more cash just to keep them happy. Yeah, they're now friendly, and they're still quite happily fighting their wars in the north. They're actually fighting the Daha, who I think are over here. Oh no, that's Baktria. So that keeps them off our back, and that's very, very important. And I think that's all I can do this turn. We've got this here. I can't... I mean, what can I recruit here now? We've got some hillmen. We've got some Parthian archers, but what I really want is elite Parthian archers, as recommended by Dan Audi. And we've got, yeah, they're not going to be much good. We don't want skirmishers, Persian bowmen, Parthian axemen. Yeah, so we've got a little bit, but I'm just going to be, I think what I might do is get an axeman. What have I got here? Hillman. I think we'll get an axeman and another one of these, just to kind of let them build up my force up a little bit. When the public orders actually turn around quite nicely now. We're actually getting 4. I think that's because the cultural for conversion is going quite well. So we're just going to go for another end turn. Right, here we are, guys. We've now completed research, social organisation, and of course we need 4 more turns to finish the next level of research. I'm going to move my spy over this way just to see if we can see the Quadri, and we're now going to bring it back this way. And over here in our tiny little region here, just to kind of show you guys, we are currently where's it, stats? We're already 9 turns in to the campaign, and I've done very, very little except build up the forces. We've now got a negative here, but I think what we can do is drop him into patrol. That will keep that positive. I'm not going to recruit any more troops just yet, because until this barracks is finished, we've got another 4 turns before the barracks finishes. And then we will take it from there. So all I can do, guys, is go for another end turn. Actually, let's have a quick look. None of these guys really gaining any training yet. No one's leveling up. I was hoping the general would level up, but not. So we're just going to go for another end turn. And here we are, guys. We have finally completed research formal government. We've got a mission, recruit a governor. Well, I'm going to be recruiting the governor anyway, simply because I want him to work on the public order. So that's going to be the first job here, is to get a governor in. I don't want land recruitment costs. Unit replenishment, growth for local turn. That's the one I certainly want. We're going to recruit him. And that is actually, well, dignitary action, chance of success. That's a bit of a waste. And more importantly, also, I have now completed my barracks. So it means that I can now actually see, and what I'm going to do is bring this army a little bit further south. And what we can now, you can see here, we've now got a reasonable recruitment roster. And what I'm actually going to after is there should be some elite path and foot archers, elite Persian archers here. They've got a range of 185. They got a bit of king. I mean, they're a little bit expensive, but I think we need a couple. Maybe we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of these. Maybe we'll get one of these and one of these. And I think it's now time to get rid of the horse archers, because we've now got some archers which are probably going to be more effective, and of course that will balance our income. And I suppose what you could say now is the fact that the campaign actually starts properly now, and because we've managed to survive to, what was it, turn 13 without actually getting in a war, which I must admit is a first. The fact that I've managed to get this far and not actually have anyone declare war on me. And what I'm doing is I'm bringing this agent up here, and while I'm building this army up, I'm going to leave my veteran in here, but eventually I'm going to use my veteran to come down and spy on Susia, and I'm going to keep my other agent here to see what Patava's up to. And of course we're going to deploy our governor here, and of course we've got some new research to do, and this is where it gets a little bit tricky. And I think I'm going to go for signalling, simple, just to get the minus 1.5 upkeep. Also we get the level 3 infantry quarters. I don't think there's anything else here that's, I mean, I could come here, well, from all regions. I don't think that we're just so small at the moment that plus 2% public order, that could be useful. Growth, I think growth could be useful. Maybe I will go with tax labour for 4 turns, and then I will come back to that, because I can't afford the troops anyway. So, and what I'm going to do now is again roll the turnover, guys, and I'm going to slowly build this army up. I don't know if I can, I don't think I can recruit. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, we can only do one at a time, and I just don't want to spend that money at the moment. So we're going to go for an end turn. And here we are, and I think what I'm going to do now,
my lord.
I'm going to keep the axeman. I think we can get rid of one of these now. And what I want to recruit now is a couple of
Our Lord
Persian
needs
hoplites.
good
I want a front line of, say, about 3 or 4 as a front line. These guys are going to be like the cannon fodder, and then we're going to rely on the military. I need a force of as close to a full stack as I can get without actually draining all my cash away. And I think what we can do now is detach this guy. I want you to come down here. Right, this is now.
How
this
can
is
I
open.
assist you further?
They've only got a garrison of 12 at the moment. But more importantly, what I need to do is keep an eye on this area here. You can see we've got Aria here, we've got a Patavan force here, because what I don't want is a full stack sat in here. So I may have to be a bit opportunist and come roaring in here, because at the moment these guys are actually fighting there, which is quite convenient. But we're going to go for another end turn. And here we are, guys, we've got another end turn, and this is quite useful. The Suclids have declared war on the Quidri, which gives me another option, but at the moment my preferred option is the media atrophy, because these guys are fighting here and we may have a combination of allies here. And what I'm going to do is just leave this agent here so that you can keep an eye on here, and what I'm going to do is move this army south a little bit, and we're going to get a couple more hoplites. This brings my army up to 14, and I think you can just come south just to make sure there's no Batavian armies hanging around. And this army's now should have 4 hoplites, some axemen. We need a couple. We'll probably need a couple more archers, and then what we might do then is just top up with mercenaries. Get in. Oh, these guys are going to be expensive. Anyway, we're going to go for another end turn. Right, guys, we completed some more research, and things have got a little bit off par, because what's actually happened is this army has actually stood right next to Susia. Also, my army has plague, which is an absolute pain in the neck, which means that, and Baktria has actually declared war on Akakosia. Trespass area is trespassed across that corner there. I'm not worried about that. So I'm going to have to wait to see if I can see this plague off, because it's, and with this army stood here, there's a good chance that if I declare war, these mate and I try and attack, these guys are going to come in to assist them. And of course, what's also happening also over here is the fact that these guys are building up an army. So things have gone a little bit off key here now, guys. So what I'm going to do is just keep burning through the turns until I've got rid of the plague, and I can't really recruit many more troops because I don't have the cash. So I'm just going to wait, and so I'll see you once anything really useful happens. Right, guys, things have got interesting because Baktria has declared war on the Sucalids and pushed down here, and they are now pushing down against Aria, which is proving a distraction. We've got a small Batavian army here, and my army's finally healed, but it's not in the best of conditions. And I think I've got to go grab the opportunity. I think what we're going to have to do is, we've got a bit of cash. I'm going to have to try and go is get a couple of mercenaries. Wow, these guys are going to be phenomenally expensive, but I mean, if I get a couple of these guys, and what we're going to do, I'm not going to, and we should be able to come in here. That gives us an army of 18 against a garrison of 12. And I mean, it's going to be a little bit risky, but we've got missile superiority, so we should be able to draw them out. And of course, you can see I'm losing a lot of cash, but I'm going to disband the mercenaries as soon as we're done. So it's time to go to war. Now, who are we actually going to? I mean, I could get. The trouble is, if I join the war with Baktria is a lot more powerful than me, but maybe if I... Okay, Baktria.
I give you
I'm going to join
my
your
attention
war
for the next few
against
minutes.
Parthia.
Make your case, but without a lawyer's tedium.
Okay, you're going to accept. No, they've rejected. You
The
buggers.
storm clouds do
Okay.
indeed gather.
Who else
That
are
is
they?
your problem.
This is one thing that
You
always
offended
annoys me. Okay, you're actually at war. Okay, will
Before you say anything, know that I have an amulet against the evil eye. Dark sorcery will gain you naught.
Yes, they've accepted.
On behalf...
So we're now at war with Parthia, and of course we're going to come straight in here. And we've got an auto resolve, but I am going to fight this, guys, because that will then complete this first part. and you can see how bad I am with these troops. I mean, we've got, oh, they've come out, we've got cavalry superiority, so this should be a formality. Right, start deployment. And they've got the advantage of an uphill slope. Okay, let's get our front line out. And what's the range of these guys? 185. So I think we'll get you guys there, and we'll put one of these, each of these on each side. Just turn that off, don't need it now. And I think what we will do is put a couple of these spear units on each flank. In fact, you three can come out. Actually, you can support in the centre. You can come out on this side. And what does that leave me with? Now the Cataphracts. I think what we will do is have the cavalry out on both sides. We got a hillman. I think you can come in for some rear charges. So we're going to start the battle. Persian archers go to the forefront. Slingers out on each side. And you come out on this side. Cavalry this way. Now the question is, are they going to come at us, or are they going to wait for us to move forward? They're going to wait for us to move forward. Okay. And we're going to... Oh, come on. I turned off this functionality.
At the ready.
Okay, let's just have a look at options. Battle interface. Left click and drag. God knows why that was turned off. I must have been experimenting. That should now. Yeah, that's better. Now we're going to keep the Cataphracts away from the artillery. Not artillery, the archers. Actually, I think seeing we've actually got to forward. Okay, we're just going to move these guys forward. I mean, we've got the missile superiority, so what we're going to do is move these troops forward. Just going to speed up a little bit. Now these guys are actually going that way. Okay. Okay, this. Why are they moving that way? Sometimes I do worry a little bit about the AI. Lead archers forward. I think they're trying to break up my formation, I think. And just going to bring this up here. And I think you guys can actually go up that way. Okay, Parthian spearmen. Keep the hillman there. Okay. Persian archers. Okay, these guys have got in a bit of a mess. Cataphracts round. Okay. Okay. These spearmen are... Okay, archers fall back. Cataphracts around the back.
We are at your command. Royal Cataphracts.
Okay, these guys have now got in.
Awaiting orders. Kill the skies.
First thing we need to do is get rid of these guys. Archers, I think you guys
Our
can.
general is under attack.
Yes, but it'll be okay. Actually, you guys come this side.
The battle is turning in our favor.
Wait. So let's break off these archers. Or slingers. I think they are the Parthian archers, okay. Okay. Archers, you're probably killing off more of my troops then. Okay. This is where we can now use the Cataphracts to maximum advantage. And I think General, you come over this way. You guys line up there. And get a rear charge into these guys because these are their, well, that's their elite troops. Yes. Slingers, you put away. And you guys into here. You break and pull away. Right, these guys are breaking. Of course, we can't leave Cataphracts engaged for too long. What we got here? Walk right. Okay. You guys form out. Right, Cataphracts out. These guys are broken on this side. Hey, archers. You are not to kill my own troops. Okay, in. You guys form up. Okay. No, they've gone. And we're going to end battle. We lost 99 and we killed 1,300. We killed 10 to friendly fire. Well, to be expected. Cataphracts did very, very well. It's a shame we can't keep them, but we can't afford them. Of course, we're going to occupy because we should be okay because they are a similar culture. And of course we've got a bit of Imperium. And the first thing we're going to have to do is get rid of these guys because we can't afford them. That gives us a little bit of cash. And Susia, I think I'm going to knock you down. We don't need 2 camps here. And agent here, you can keep an eye on there, and your job is going to be to come down here to make sure we can spot any troops coming through here. And what I'm going to do here is raise an army. What have you got here? Got minus upkeep for all ships. Well, not that I need upkeep. All land units. Public orders, presence of own culture. I think we will raise that. And wow, you're expensive. I think you're going to have to be a cheap unit, although that's the free one actually. But you're going to be 400. And, I can't really afford that. Okay, I'm just going to have to go with the cheaper unit. It means I've got to spend some money, but and what I need is some very, very cheap units. Persian bowmen, Eastern Slingers. No, can't afford those. Put a Parthian foot archers. And they're going to recruit a couple of those so this army can go into patrol. And I think what I'm probably going to have to do is...
Ready for battle.
No, you're only 83 in upkeep. I mean, I think we're just going to have to try and soldier on with this area here. But I think this is where I'm going to leave it, guys. We've made a modest start. And of course what we're going to need to do now is come out here and conquer these two settlements. But it's going to be, again, we're going to have to be a little bit sneaky. Because obviously, let's have a quick look. Yeah, Patava's only got these here and they're being squashed. Now there is a risk that the Media Atropine will come in and take these, but I think what we might be able to do is sneak this army down. I don't know how big the garrison is here. This is even smaller. So what we may be able to do, if we can actually get this public order under control, because obviously this is minus 26, and although that should improve, yeah, it should drop quite dramatically. If we can get this army patrolling, maybe we can come down and have a lightning strike there. But this is where I'm going to leave it, guys. I've made a reasonable start, and I'm going to be honest, we're not completely out the woodwork yet. We don't have a lot in the way of food, but I think we can solve that by getting a farm in here for the moment. And I mean, I'd love to come and take out here, but that's got a garrison of 17, and that's going to be a tough fight, especially with these armies hanging around. So this is where I'm going to leave it, guys. Hope you've enjoyed the episode. Hope you found it interesting. And until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.